Gary, this I'll try and treat like I did the brain game, and this is tits in the brain, and I'll do the cutting up and talking a bit. I don't talk too much and try and keep it down, because yesterday's about 30-minute video is about 6 hours of upload for me, and I've got other uploads to do, and I try and keep it short. I've already listened to most all of this video, and I've sensed your frustration that I'm pulling you up too much, but for me, I don't think I can ever pull you up too much when you go to these U's. And you've pulled yourself up in this video for using U's and I's and all that sort of thing. I sense your frustration, or what do they say, these modern people? I feel your pain or something, whatever it is. Anyway, but you know why I'm doing it. Well, you maybe don't. I'll give a quick explanation. I feel often that you're really getting somewhere here with our using the language that we're using, and then you'll use the I. Like in this one was, I can't get the word, and then it was the waiter that won't bring me the word, and I think, okay, that he's off. He's off the tracks now, and I get frustrated because I'm listening. Okay, this is the okay. I can go along with that. That's fine. Good. And then this I thing slips in, and then I know that you've just lost it. You've lost grip of what we're talking about, and I get frustrated because I lose the thread of the conversation then, because I know what you're talking about with computers and string and puppets and dwarves, but as soon as you throw I in, I can't relate to it at all in the conversation that we're having. So I go, ugh. So I have to, but I notice in this video that you've picked yourself up on it. So that's good. So the more I can program to pick yourself up, the better I will be, because then we can do whole videos without me having to pick you up and without you having to pick yourself up or use these I things again. But I know your frustration, and I know about your desire to find the pain and the suffering, and in a way I'm trying to help with that. I'm certainly not knowing where the pain and suffering is and trying to push you off that. If I see an explanation for pain and suffering, I'll be right there and putting it in a video as well. So the conversation is meant to be constructive, but I feel your pain on me pulling you up all the time. Right, into the video. Okay, of course I listened to the end of the video, but actually when you described it in this video, you described the computer, let's say a triangle of computer screens, the human, ape and lizard sitting at their keyboards and typing away, and as one types it instantly appears on the other screens for the others. The lizard types, the human and the ape see it instantly. I'm very happy to go with that sort of analogizing. I can add something a bit more constructive to it, which is, for some reason, this is developed with somebody with their finger on the scroll down key, and that's time. In other words, as they're typing, more white is appearing at the top of the page, and what they're typing or scrolling or splatting is just going down off the page, and then there's more, and time goes on, and they're all seeing each other, interacting with each other. I'm perfectly happy with that, more than happy with that. Now I'm not so happy. Okay, now I am happy. They're typing what they're seeing on a screen, and the screen is caused by the other two creatures. Okay, yeah, there's not a fourth big screen. It's just they're reacting straight to what they're seeing, and what they're seeing is either caused by themselves or by one of the other two. Yeah, okay, I can go with that. They are reacting to each other's reactions. Bip, 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 do, bip, bip, bip. Cool. The next bit is consciousness. I'll go and have a think about that. Okay, I'll nod through consciousness is the screen, but we might come back to it later when this comes into confusion. But yeah, I'll wave it through, because we haven't got much of a clue on consciousness, so it might as well be the screen. But the problem is the natural question, what's experiencing the consciousness, what is experiencing the consciousness, which is a question coming out of normal reality talk, will arise all the time. And really the consciousness, in answer to that question, we're going to struggle to keep it in the screen and not have the consciousness in the human, ape and lizard. But for the moment, pencil in the screen being consciousness and see how we go. Yeah. What we'd have to have is the human, ape, lizard never conscious. The screen can be consciousness, but then we'd have to just tear up the something must be experiencing this consciousness and say, no, it's just a weird thing in the world that nothing experiences consciousness. Consciousness just is, and the consciousness is just the screen. It's going to be a tricky one to maintain, but I'll go to pencil on it quite happily. My Tina Turner and Rocket, or your Jack in a Box, seems exactly the same to me, so I'll go along with Jack in a Box. No worries. I think what I'd put in here is all fair enough. The box is forced to comply with external forces. But what I'm saying with the Tina Turner and the box thing is it never knows what it's doing. It doesn't know it's being forced to comply with these things. The box is the brainium, and it is not knowing. It is just stacked with things that will press the button and I'm not taking a crap in the hardware store. And that's efficient. Or pyro, press button, I'm doing willing. Or I'm doing pain and suffering. I'm doing logic. But it never knows it's doing it. It's not a knowing thing. It's not a knowing like we imagine it from the normal realms of conversation knowing. It's a dumb knowing. It's just your billion, there's me, lost for a word, reflexes, making it look like it's a smooth reflex, a smooth reflex of logic, a small reflex of pain and suffering, a smooth reflex of not taking a crap in the hardware store. But it's all because things are being shoved in that box, and circumstance just presses the button. It's not, there's no we to know, and there's no actual knowing, there's just those billion interactions that come out. And from an external point of view, in the hardware store, we go, oh, what a gentleman, he didn't take a crap on our floor. And again, manipulating people, not manipulating people through lies and bullshit. Some people's boxes are stacked that circumstance, I'm doing lies and bullshit. Some people are doing, I'm being an honest broker here. But it's just because what's stacked in the box. This is a tricky one, and it's kind of a bit that sort of, they are not conscious of what they're doing. It just press button, take ticket, press button, I'm doing this. And that fits in exactly with what we're talking about, making videos, we don't know what we're going to say, or everything that happens in life. It's just circumstance presses the button and something comes out. Same track, understand more complex values. No, just will come up with press button, I'm doing a really complex reaction. I'm saying that all people are the same. Or whatever Jesus said. You know what I mean? Which is the same as doing, I'm doing logic. It's not a knowing thing. It's just an advanced, complex reflex. And this is where I can feel us driving apart. You're wanting there to being a human that's doing learning and logicking and understanding reality and expressing it. I'm saying as time goes on, the box gets more stuff with stuff that it can do a more complex reacting. And then we go for your long spiel on value of this, that and the other, which to me is, now this is not to knock it, because this is how I'm looking at me doing it now. I'm replying to Gary's video. You're giving the spiel of, look how advanced I am. I've got a great big concept of the world. Isn't it super? And I say, well, cool. I see what's happening there, coming from New Jersey. I see it. But I am not seeing somebody that is doing understanding and logic and expressing worldly truths. I see a box that circumstances press the button and it's going da 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 da. And I see me as a box over in France where circumstances press the button and I'm doing a video reply. And that's the difference. And we get, to where I knew we'd get, because I'd already heard. And you're frustrated that you can't make the bridge. I'm trying to help you make the bridge. But so far we have not made the bridge between what we're talking about, human, animal and lizard at computer screens. Note, computer screens or computer, human, ape, lizard. What does that spell out? H-A-L on the computer. Do you like it? I like it. Right. We're trying to make that bridge, but it's still a quantum leap from an electron, one electron zone, is it? One electron loop, electron circle, to another. We've not made the leap yet. Yes, you've into this video value. There is value in the world and all that sort of stuff. That has been shoved into your box and circumstances pressed the button and that's what's coming out. I understand that. But it doesn't help make the bridge between saying that and Hal. And quite frankly, saying, in your opinion, you are completely sure, you really believe that suffering sucks and it's the most important thing in the universe, doesn't help. I've got it. Suffering sucks. We're bridge building. We're looking for where this suffering can be situated. We're looking for words that can express it logically in a philosophical way. That's what we're doing. We are doing, but we're not succeeding. And what I keep bringing up is there's probably a damn good reason that we're not succeeding. And what is your personal belief in this? It gives, because I've taken it as well, it gives us a goal to keep talking about this to see if we can get there. It is a carrot to keep us going to see if we can work it through. But actually, it might not be there when we get there. Because we're nowhere near yet. We're absolutely nowhere near. It isn't as though we've started to build a bridge and we think we're going in the right direction. We're nowhere near value and what might be suffering and what suffering might be. Nowhere near it at all. Certainly not the value. In fact, I really regret that you put value into the video, because that's a bridge too far. Okay, we might get to even because I've been trying to think of the difference between pain and suffering. One's air conditioning and one's something else. I think the idea of electricity is good, and I've been thinking on this. But value, for fuck's sake. I mean, really, that's far too far away. I can do a bit of a sum up of a bigger block here and just reiterate what I said yesterday and refine it slightly, because I said if the lizard is going bleh, then that is what you are the lizard. But let's say there are 3 screens on the go. Consciousness is something to do with the screens. I like the idea of the scrolling down. And say there's a percentage going on, 70, 30, no, 70, 10, 20, whatever it might be. But that is what you are at the time. And this you is, if that's what we're using, that's what it must be. The you is the 70, 30, 10. It's all of those things. And it's the conscious part, and it's the subconscious part. It's got to be everything. This is what, if I keep pressing anything, it's got to be all of it. It's one thing. It can't be a little bit here reacting to a little bit there, and I'm this. This is what, I have in that opening triangle video. You've got to be all of it. You're the conscious, you're the subconscious. You're the person that says, give me that word, and you're the bastard that won't give them the bloody word. It's the subconscious thing that blocks it, and it's the conscious thing that sees it. It's everything. It's the lizard, it's the human. No, we've got Hal, so we've got human, ape, and lizard. It's got to be everything. And this, any time that you go to trying to divide things to being different and maybe I'm this and no, it must always be. And this, I'm going to go as putting a stick in here and say, whatever we say, all of it has got to be me. All of it, absolutely all of it, or none of it. But logic states that it's got to be all of it. Always. And I've been thinking about this. I think this is where our boxes have been stuffed differently. Now I think I might be able to finish here. My box is stuffed with I am. Your box is stuffed with I am doing logic, or more that sort of thing. In other words, you think you are a something, an active thing. And I think I am absolutely bloody nothing. Just something that's going, That's how I see myself to be. An ongoing, But this is where your struggle comes in. Really, your box is still well stuffed with I am something, and having to deal with external circumstance and internal circumstance. And that, for me, is what I keep trying to knock out, because that way of thinking is always the block. And I see it with everything you say. You try and explain this, try and explain that, try and explain the other, and you never can, because you always bump into this block of trying to be somebody. And this is why I think, this is why I feel easy on these, on these conversations, because my way of saying it, I am just, there's no blockage in conversation. It's not that I can explain everything, but there's nothing that comes up against that stops anything. That's not a good way of saying it. You run into trouble with your explanations. I don't. Because as long as you say it's all there, there's just no blockage at all. It doesn't explain it, but it doesn't block any logical explanation that comes in. All these logical explanations that you come up with are always blocked by your idea that you're something that is controlling something, but none of them are blocked by my, it's just what happens. And all my petty little pull you up is trying to take these blockages out of the way. But I don't think you'll get there, because this one great big red ball in your box called suffering and value, I don't think it'll ever go. It'll never shift from the box, I don't think, probably. So you will always be searching for the thing, which sometimes you say we don't have to call it an I, and sometimes you do, that is something. And I'm quite happy to go, there is nothing. I am nothing. It's just an atomic firework, jack-in-the-box explosion, black-in-the-box explosion. All the time, just another jack-in-the-box explosion. I don't look for anything to be myself. But you're always looking for something to be you, so it can suffer and give value. And I'm trying to keep with you, and I'm not trying to be an impediment to your line of thinking, but all of this stuff, every single time it comes up that you're on this, and I think I do logic, and I'm finding the logic in the universe, or even my brain's finding the logic in the universe, it never helps. It's always a hindrance. It's always a blockage. And if for no other reason, just think, well, why does it always become a blockage? It becomes a blockage because it's probably not right. I don't care that you personally feel pain. That is a huge blockage. But as long as you leave it there, none of what we're saying makes sense. Because you're always looking for the thing to feel the pain. And I know we're not going to find it. And I think I know why we're not going to find it, is because it's not there. It's not even, as we finished one time, a great fucking illusion. It's not even a great fucking illusion. I went along with that for a little while, but it's not even a great fucking illusion. It is just... Have we really got anywhere towards finding the source, the seat of the pain and suffering, the thing that can pain and suffer? I don't think we have. I think Hal's a brilliant idea, because it's funny. But for the rest of it, I don't think we're really getting anywhere, are we? I mean, let's be honest. The Jack-in-the-Box, better or worse than Tina Turner? Who knows? Who cares? But that's what we've got, is fucking Jack-in-the-Box. But then a couple of sentences later, we've got to find something that's the value in the world, or that's doing pain and suffering. Why? Because that's how you feel. What I was thinking then, to throw yourself back on determinism. Throw yourself back on determinism. Try and make sense of it there. Think to yourself, is determinism right or is determinism wrong? And why is determinism right? And if determinism is right because it's kind of the domino reason, well, something's got to give. Because the determinism with dominoes will not find pain and suffering and value. Use that as the bridge. Let's forget this brain thing, we're going nowhere. Go from that. Determinism, dominoes, one side, pain and suffering and value on the other. And that means then you can argue with yourself because you've argued both sides. So justify yourself from determinism and dominoes to suffering, pain and value in the world. I'll leave you with it. If I put this video up, I suspect we might have a little stop in our daily interactions. We'll see how we go though. Bye.